Larsson, oh he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It is a pre-match podcast of Celtic versus Al-AHIL Saudi. Team news and transfer state of play. As I said, my name is Ryan Clifford and joining me in this podcast is my good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Well, Alan, obviously went on the other day with myself, Barry Mack, Barry Bannon and JP, mate. So you can get your thoughts on obviously what's happened recently and ahead of the game coming up tonight, which is a 7:30 kickoff. How are you, mate? And are you looking forward to seeing what can happen tonight?
Good afternoon, good evening. Good lack of transfers, whatever you want to call it. I think you're probably lucky I wasn't on the other night because I was furious, and I think Ofcom would have been contacted and we probably would have been taking the channel right off us. So I think evening everyone that's watching, but strap in because it's going to be a rocky ride tonight because there'll be no hanging back for my behalf. I think we're basically watching that game on Thursday, getting absolutely scalped. First half apart, obviously, we looked reasonably decent, but just the lack of quality that's been brought in. And it's taking games like that for the normal person to kind of realise that this is completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. We're sitting there with copious amounts of millions in the bank. We've got an elite level manager that's screaming for the rooftops, give me quality. He's been doing this transfer window after transfer window. I need quality in. Give the man the tools to take us forward. It's all fine and well saying that we've won kind of domestically trophies. We go to the next round of the Champions League last year, but no one can tell me that there's no more meat in the bone there. We can't progress any further. We've went backwards for last year. We sold Kuhn 3 weeks ago, and there's nothing happened. For me, that's small club mentality. You know, you've mentioned that a number of times yourself, Ryan, about how many clubs, the likes of kind of Ross County, when Simon Murray left, they brought in a player immediately after that. You're looking at the likes of kind of Liverpool, etc., that have maybe lost players, or Aston Villa, that have lost players, they bring in players directly after that, because that's the way business should work. We should be proactive instead of reactive. And honestly, after the other night, I just think the way that Brendan's been treated, the way that the fans are being treated, they're hanging us out to dry. Honestly, the manager's been hung out to dry. It needs to improve. We're now kind of a week away from coming into the first game of the season, and we've spent a couple of million and brought in the best part of 25 million. It's simply not acceptable that whereas last year we're looking at, we're maybe a Dyson Maeda injury away from having to play Yang. Now we are a Yang injury away from playing Hoopy the Huddle Hound and out wide. It's as simple as that. And for anybody that can't see this, I'm perplexed. I'm flabbergasted. It's just enough is enough. It's just Brendan will never sign a new contract with what's going on just now. So that's a part of the rant out of the way, but I think it's just it needs improvement, and it needs improvement fast, because when are you supposed to say, that should have happened, we should have brought in quality? When are you supposed to say that? In a few weeks' time when the transfer window's shut? Nah, not for me. You say it just now, because we get to that stage and it'll be like when we didn't replace Kyogo. It'll be like, we tried. Well, I tried to win the Euro Millions last night, but I'm still on toast and beans now. Doesn't work like that. So for me, it's just gross negligence, it's total mismanagement, and the powers that be are just they're treating us like a small club, and that should not be the case with the amount of finance and infrastructure we've got behind us.
There will be fans like yourself, mate, that will be like that, and there is some fans that are willing to obviously take time, see how we get on in the window. Some people are calm with it. Listen, it's fine. It's all about opinions. I'm not going to tell people how they should feel or what they should be like. But as you can sense with some voice notes were sent today in the chat, some voice notes we've all sent in previous weeks. Some things I said on Monday, other people have said it online as well, that I'm like you in a way. I maybe know is full frontal the way you put it across, but I am to a degree that things have to be better. The manager has come out with messages in the past about being braver, quality. We need to be braver, we need to be ambitious. If we want to be ambitious, if we want to improve, that was his words. Well, no people take that as a dig at the board, or they take it as that's just him saying what he feels. That's whatever way you'd want to take it. For me, I'm taking it as he's telling the fans that he's wanting more. That's the way I take it. Other people might think that's not the way he's saying it. That's up to them. It's all about opinions. We all see things different. But we are a Maeda injury away for playing Adamida up front, who fans are still very up in arms about. They don't know if they like him or no. Is he going to come good? But actually, for me, Aaron, I'll put this back to you and the viewers as well. For me, it's pretty grim that we're actually debating whether it's Osman, Ken, or Reader. We're debating that. Who's better? If we don't know who's the number 9 now, we've not got a clue with 1 week to go. Is he going to play Maeda? I've got a feeling he's going to play Maeda up front. I think that until he signs somebody. Because I think Adam Ida's not done his self-justice in pre-season. He's not done his self-justice in pre-season just yet. Fans are going to give him more time, which is fine. But for me, how much time do you give him for his... Because his all-round play's got to improve. You've got, obviously, at the back, Scales for me is a squad player. This season's got to be. Are we going to go into another Champions League campaign with the same backline? For me, it can't happen. But like you've said there, the manager's having to keep Yang, whether there's interest with other clubs or no. He's saying that Yang's essential. Yang could come good. I'm not saying he's not going to come good. But he's been very inconsistent, and now you're hanging your hat on a potentially inconsistent Yang, who's only starting 19. But that's what I'm saying. He's only starting 19 games, Alan, in 2.5 years. So that's telling you he's not a main 11. James Forrest is still a good player for us, but he's aging, and it's 2025. And we're still relying on James Forrest to pull us out a hole, which is, it's not his fault, but we should have the armour. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, we'll get to team line soon. Marco Tello isn't a chance tonight. Who knows if he's going to stay, because he might actually need to stay until the end of August to see what happens. But I think it's no, we're all on here to be all negative. There is some positives, and that is obviously certain players getting more game time tonight. Arthur Johnson's getting game time, but we've all gone to the team sheet, Alan, and then you can come back to what I said there, and we can go on from the latest of the transfers. But that is the team tonight. It is in goal, Sinisalo. Arthur Johnson is back after only being back about a week or so. Carter Vickers, I think we'll touch on him, Alan. He definitely needs probably 90 minutes tonight if he's going to be starting next week. Trusty back in as well. Anamura, hopefully see him doing well tonight. Bernardo, McKibben and Engels, James Forrest, Tilly and Kenny. Probably not the best of front threes, but it's 3 guys that need game time. It's 3 guys that can hopefully, Alan, give the manager some thought into the game on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's obviously positives when we've got Alistair Johnston and Cameron Carter-Vickers starting. I think they're monumental to any challenge that we're going to have, whether that be kind of domestically or European-wise. They're kind of stalwarts in the team. It would be, I think when you look at the team, you look at the sub-bench, as we spoke about a minute ago, I think that you're looking at there's probably 2 sides there. I would maybe think that apart from Carter Vickers and Johnston, that I would like to change the whole team about at half time. I'd maybe give Carter Vickers and Johnston the 60 minutes, 65 minutes, give them that wee bit extra, because obviously they've not contributed as much during during the pre-season, whether that be for whatever reasons that may be. I know Alistair was away on international duty, but no, it just shows how the lack of quality in certain areas that we've got, that we're still kind of playing Marco Tilio when there was kind of quite solid news that he was leaving to go to kind of Rapid Vienna pretty soon. So I don't know if we're at a stage just now that we need to keep winners until we get other ones in, because we basically know we've got a couple of wingers at the club, and would we be confident going into next week's game, starting the week with Forrest and Yang? I think you all need to look back with Yang for the Scottish Cup final. We got absolutely slaughtered. I don't like any footballer. You get slaughtered, but his performance was basically zilch. Well, a man down. So can we kind of rely on him going forward at this part of the season? I don't think so. So I just think that the lack of depth and quality that we've got in the squad at present, I think that just shows that how much that whoever the powers may be, whether it be the board, whoever the board, the recruitment team, the hierarchy, whoever's doing it, they're making a complete mess of this transfer window, because as we spoke about before, sometimes it takes time for players to adjust and come in. We look at Nicholas Coons for 6 months. He didn't look anywhere near the player that he turned out to be. It took him that time. We're still getting excuses that Adam Ida needs a pre-season. Why does he need a pre-season? Because we waited till last minute last year to get him in, so he didn't get a pre-season with us. Instead of us signing straight away, and then he would have got a pre-season, we're still given that excuse. So no matter how much the board spend now, no matter how quickly we do it now, I think we're behind the 8 ball just now. I think we're well behind, because these players need to come in and they'll be expected to hit the ground running. And you've seen with experience over the last number of years, a lot of the time that doesn't happen. A lot of the time these kind of players need time to adjust. But the positives tonight for me is that we've got Alistair Johnston and Carter Vickers starting. I think that we're all keen to see Shin Yamada, see what he's all about. I think I would hope that he gets at least the second half off the bench. So yeah, try to stay as positive as possible, but extremely difficult at present because of the situation we've been put in. It's like, it's no, I know that everybody's got different opinions, but this for me, getting spun that there's a narrative that the Celtic board only backing Brendan. It's not the fans that are saying this. Listen to the manager. Brendan is a professional elite manager, and for me, he's always conducted himself with the highest level of professionalism. He's never come out and say something when it's no needed to be said. So you don't air your dirty laundry in public. And for Brendan to come out and say that, you know there's problems. You know there's problems. We can't hide away from it anymore. We can't pretend and just go, oh no, it's all fine. We won the league last year. We won a cup. We get through to the Champions League. Does that mean we just take the foot off the gas and just go, all right, don't worry about this season. Don't worry about signing any players. We won the league last year. It doesn't matter. So it's, for me, it gets infuriating, extremely frustrating. But hopefully, for the players that we've got at present, we see a pretty good performance tonight, I hope.
Aye, like I say, Alan, there's been a lot of outlets, fan media. Chris Sutton's obviously putting in his column as well. Obviously, Baz is on Monday as well, and he understands why the fans are up in arms about what's going on. And these are guys that are involved in the game and in the game. So it's definitely no just coming for the fans, mate. Obviously, like I say, Alan, there's different opinions. People are calm about the situation because they know we'll get players. Listen, it's all about opinions. I'm not going to sit here and say you're right or wrong. It's all about opinions, and it's what you feel about the situation. I was really kind of positive into this window. I was like, right, I'll see what happens at the end of the window. I'm still wanting to wait to the end of the window, and then we can fully judge and we can all dissect it. What we should have done better and what we should have done no better. But I'm starting to get a wee bit frustrated in terms of, for me, we're definitely weaker squad-wise in terms of last season. You've let apparently two £8 million centre-backs. You've let them go. You've let other guys go as well. And right
Still
away,
Kyogo, Jota injured.
that's what I've got to say. Kyogo, we've had, as it stands at the moment, we've had a window and a bit to get him replaced. Not replaced yet. Kuhn's been away nearly 4 weeks now. Still not replaced yet. There's been no links at all. Whether they're doing things behind it. Listen, I'm not naive enough to know that they're not working behind the scenes to do things. I definitely know that they'll be doing things behind the scenes. They'll be scout. I get it. Listen, any Celtic fan that thinks they're not doing anything, then that's crazy. But it's got to be done a bit quicker, because for me, I'm not saying that it's all got to be ironed out by this time of the season, but roughly you should be trying to hit your top targets as soon as possible, and it doesn't seem like that to us. It could, listen, we don't know the ins and outs of what's going on. We only go by what's in the media, what you get told hearsay, what's in front of you. Now, that's all us as fans can go by what's in front of you. The manager's question in terms of quality, he said it last year about being brave on the market. And see the thing as well, this isn't a dig at the board, this is just the facts. We've got a lot of money, and I'll put this to yourself, Aaron, and any viewers that think it as well. We've got money sitting in the bank, plenty of money in the bank, right? We've probably got all this money for overseas, tourist attractions, trips, season books. The playoff game will get money if you qualify for that, more money. So there's loads of money getting to the club right now. I was in the Celtic shop last week getting something. No, but that's your choice. But it says it's your choice to buy it. But they're putting all the feel. Listen, it is a contract, by the way, if I did it, so I'm not more at the club for doing it. But it's read the room a wee bit. Like, it's tweets about strips, training gear, this, that, and then you've got everything going out. But yet the squad on the park is weaker. Surely the squad on the park was the first thing you should be trying to get right. Never mind merchandise and everything else. But what I was going to say is, Alan, there's no point in us. We have no need to have 70 or 80 million lying in the bank. There's absolutely no need for any club to have that money just sitting there. What's it sitting there for? In case you don't qualify for Champions League? Well, if that is the worry, we'll spend it so you don't have to worry about a rainy day. We don't need 80 million. Listen, it's brilliant having that money, but we don't need to have that money. I seen a thread earlier. I seen it on Twitter. It was about when all the money we've spent in the past. Every time we've maybe finished second, the board have went, right, now we need to go and spend. We need to go and spend to go and get back on number one, which is brilliant to have that money sitting there. But why do you have to wait to potentially go second or no, be the top dog, to then go and spend money to chase to get back to being first? Spend it wisely now. Like somebody I know or they were talking about it. When before your roof starts to leak, fix what's good first. And that's what we should be doing, Alan.
Aye, fix the roof when the sun is shining, I think is probably the phrase to be used.
Yes.
I think that. I seen a comment there about the business model, but we don't want to be a business. We pay for what's on the park. It's all good, right? It's brilliant that Celtic are ran great. That the business model has made us a profitable club, and make sure that there's no troubles like you've seen with administration and liquidation with other clubs in Scotland. So that's great. But you can't tell me that some of that can't be spent on the park. You can't tell me that that says we're about 23 million up so far this season. Now, with your point earlier being that Celtic, that they do we do believe that the Celtic board or the recruitment team are trying to do things. My problem would be that they're trying to do them in the wrong way. Now, it's been highly publicised about a few of the bids were put in for certain players. I think there was a midfielder that went, was it Nice that we spoke about, that we put in 2.5, 3 million?
Loans, I think. Was it Loans?
Was it Janssen or something, I think his name was?
The guy for Rapid Vienna.
I'm sure. So we put in 2.5, 3 million, they want 10 million. Now we're looking at the winger that we reportedly put a bid in for during the week, that they wanted 5 or 6 million for, yet we put in 1.5 million. Now, there's doing good business, and then there's just blatant disrespect and cheekiness. There's a line there, and get in there and offer them 20-30% of what they want. That's like me say to you before, that's something you could do to go to Tesco's, right? A pint of milk's £1. I'll go up to the till and I'll say, I know it's £1, but I'm going to give you 30 pence for that. Now, what do you think Mr. Tesco's going to say to me? He's going to start laughing and tell me to go out the door. So why should these clubs, why should they even entertain the kind of bids that they are putting in? I'm all for good business, right? But if you're looking for somebody that's £6 million, why you'd be thinking you're getting 3.5 million, 4 million, then you get them for 4.5, 5 million, whatever the value may be. But there's haggling, and then there's being cheeky and disrespectful. And for me, we may be trying to sign players. We may be trying to bring players in and trying our best, but I don't think we're doing it in the right way. When you look at the reports that have been coming out, I think that it's shown. And for me, just the cherry on top is what Brendan's comments. I think that just makes everybody wake up. And that's how we've had kind of comments with. He's a spoke to kind of Barry Bannon. He's a similar opinion to kind of yourself, Ryan. You look at Chris Sutton as well. Brendan Rodgers. These guys are coming out and saying that for the good of their health. They're coming out there because they know the game. They've experienced the game over a number of years, a number of decades, shall we say. And when they come out and voice their opinion like that publicly, then you know there's blatantly something wrong, and there's no denying it. There's no denying it. There's something wrong. So let's be positive about tonight. We'll try and go into that. It's going to be obviously a difficult game. I thought going into this game that we might be going ahead with kind of Ralston and Scales against kind of Tony and we had Mahrez, which is frightening to say the least. But obviously we've ended up with Johnston and Carter Vickers. That makes me feel a lot more confident in the defence. So let's hope for a positive result tonight. We can't do anything about the past that we're not signing any players, but it's way past finger out time. And if they can't get their finger out this week, then there's serious questions that need to be asked.
The reason why I'm wanting us to potentially, I'm no fans is asking to go and spend £80 million. We're not saying that, but it's spend within your means to give the best quality you can, the best everything that you can. There was a comment in the chat, and I think it was Mick is right. We still have the best quality, the best experience in terms of the first 11. Yes, we have, but that doesn't mean that you don't go and get quality. For me, like I says on Monday night, the standard for me now is what we done last year. Getting to potentially not Bayern Munich out. Listen, that's not always going to happen. Doing that, right? That was probably a once in a lifetime performance, right? But that's the standard now. So we should be, as soon as that game was done, the board's about, listen, right, we're really close. In my opinion, Alan, we can be a very good team in Europe. But it's maybe an extra 3 or 4 quality players are making us even better. And obviously, I've let go Kuhn, you need to replace him, you let go Kyogo. If you replace people, a lot of fan base think, obviously, because we sell players, it is good business getting that done. But see, if you don't buy players with the same quality, it's pointless. There's no point in just selling players and getting money and no replacing that quality. That's the thing that annoys me with Celtic. It's all right selling Kuhn, but as much as the guy might be good, listen, you might go and sign £1 million and the guy might be good, but going and selling something for £17 million and then potentially going to somewhere we don't know, it's like, I don't know what to say in terms of that, but for me, I just think we need to do things quicker. We need to replace quality with quality. And I get there's like 5 centre-backs at the club now, right? 5 centre-backs, I know, we're crying out for a top-level centre-back because I think we can touch on this, mate. Then we'll touch on Rodgers about the contract situation, and then we'll touch on the game. Trusty, to a lot of fans, he's 50-50, right? They're not sure about him, right? Champions League, he's good. Scotland, when he's time the ball, he's off, wee bit dodgy, right? Scales, for me, squad player, a lot of fans are, some like him, some don't. For me, can you trust him to take Celtic forward? No. Dane Murray, up and coming, done well in pre-season. It could be the future. Who knows? Stephen Welsh, not going to play. Simply not good enough, right? So realistically, as I said on Monday night, we have got one quality centre-back. He's not up to speed yet in Carter Vickers. We had a Carter Vickers injury away for having a back two that is probably no the best we've ever had, no the best that we can get. The full thing I think of this is, Alan, for me, the standards are slipping. Some of the players at the club, they're good. Like I said last week, I'm never going to call players average, mediocre. I'm never going to do that. But for Celtic, we can buy better. And I think the standards of some of the players that we're accepting at the club are slipping.
Definitely, mate. I think the main word is ambition. How high are we setting the bar, as we said before? I get the comments that we've still got a very talented squad, but we're weaker than last year. So, see, because we've got a talented squad and because we won last year, does that mean we're not going to sign anymore? Football's always moving. Players are always moving on. Clubs are moving, etc. You need to adapt with it, and keep bringing in these players. I seen a comment there. We should be looking at, if we brought in Kuhn for 3.5, we should be looking up that, because we then made a profit on that. And as I've said a number of times as well, you don't always, when you pay the big bucks, when you look at the kind of likes of Ida, you look at the likes of Yeti, Barkas, you don't always get that. But I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, you always get, with anything in life, you usually get what you pay for. So for me, I just think it's about ambition, and I think that's all the fans are asking for. We're under no illusion Celtic can't and shouldn't go and spend the full bank account. But when you look at this season alone, we've not spent anything. We've actually taken in 25 million and spent 2 million. So we look at last season with Matt O'Reilly as well, it was similar to that. So we're not actually spending any money out of our own pockets. We're spending money out of other teams' pockets that we'll sell players on for. So, don't you think the board knows what they're doing? I don't want to answer that question, because I think they're probably in the Maldives smoking big cigars with a couple of whiskies just now. So that question for me, if you want to start that'd be what you're selling for a roller coaster, because I'd lost the plot with that. But no, I just think I want to be positive. We can't change what happened yesterday. We can't change what's happened in this transfer window. But we need to change what's happening in the future just now, this coming week, before we get to the start of the season. I'd be disappointed if we didn't see kind of a couple of quality players come in this week. I think it's badly needed, and I don't think it's just a fan's opinions. I think that when you've got the manager coming out, I think that's the number one piece of evidence that shows that the manager isn't happy with the quality that he's been provided with in this transfer window.
In terms of that, I've seen a lot of comments on social media. There's some viewer comments as well. Some people are saying that, well, I've heard it on like Go Radio and that, list to Go Radio all night, and there were some callers are saying as well, you've obviously got to look at two ways. The fans are wanting quality, they're wanting the board to spend money, but then on the other hand, they're thinking, well, will they give them that money again? Because some people don't think Engels, Ida and Trusty have been successful on the big money signings. But like you've just said there, and I mentioned it, was it Monday, I think, as well, we've not lost that money. We've gained it through Champions League, through selling Nicholas Kuhn. So it's no dented the transfer budget. It's not we've wasted 26 million. But like I said, we've still won a double. We nearly knocked out Bayern Munich. The remit was to get into the Champions League and try and compete, and we did, and win the league. If you get a treble or double, it's a bonus. The remit was done last year, and you try and go on for that remit, and you try and keep pushing on. Doesn't matter if Brendan Rodgers is here next year or he's no, if McGregor's here next year, if a board are here next year, no matter who's at the club next year, you do not stand still and go, do you know what, he won't be here next year, we'll give him nothing. We'll give him 10 million to spend, and then we'll just win the league and that's it. That's not what happens. You need to progress every single year. Doesn't matter if it's John Kennedy, Dion Dublin, Kazim Richards, the manager, Damien Duff. Who cares who the manager is next year? Brendan Rodgers. You need to strengthen them now, because see, next year, if we don't win the league, even if they win the league actually, there's a potential that we've got 3 qualifiers to get in the Champions League. Now, we're not fully prepared right now for the league in terms of squad-wise. It's going to be earlier next year before you get qualifiers, so start preparing early. If you have a good window now, as in signing 3 or 4 quality players, and you might maybe do 1 or 2 in January, that prepares you for the summer, and you might only need to do 2 or 3 signings before the qualifiers. Start processing early. This is why in January I was so hard. We had to get a striker, try and get 2 or 3 guys in, build you towards the summer, so it tides you out of the playoffs. You don't need to scramble about the last week of the window to go and get players. I just think I'm no a board member. I'm no mathematically amazing. I'm no in the club, but surely that's simple, Alan. Surely you prepare for the future. You don't just prepare for the present. You sign for the now and the future. But if you buy quality now and like we did in January, it prepares you for the future.
That's the saying as well. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And I've been shouting for the rooftops for January, for the start of the window, that we had to get our business done properly and get it done quickly. That simply not happened. I fully respect. I know there's some comments that exactly we're a football club. We're not a business. We're no. We go to Celtic Park and we watch Celtic TV. We want to see football. We don't want to see kind of somebody playing Monopoly or something. That's not what we're looking for. So I'm under no illusions. I'm not expecting us to go out and spend silly money, but we know fine well there's plenty of money there to go and do a bit of business. But aye, it is what it is. I think I'm tired myself out with ranting about it. I think we just need to need to see what happens tonight. Hopefully we'll probably get another exciting interview after Brendan with how he's feeling, unless there's something immediately going to happen. And hopefully the whoever we bring in, we can start adding that quality into the team, because as we've spoken about a number of times, it is badly needed.
Obviously tonight there's the team lines again for anybody who's just tuned in. Thanks again for tuning in. It is Sinisalo, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Inamura, McKibben, Engels, Forrest, Marco Tellio and Johnny Kenny. Out of the players, Alan, are you expecting anything from them? Are you expecting them to obviously show the manager what it can give and potentially put their name in the team sheet for next week? Johnny Kenny, could he get himself in the team for next week and a good performance? Marco Tellio, who knows? Engels, he's got a game now on his hands because obviously Negan's come in and done well. So what is your thoughts on tonight, mate? And do you see some change in the second half as well to make your team a bit fresher?
Yeah, just starting off with that, probably see 9 of the team changing at half time. I think that we might see Carter Vickers and Johnston stay on that wee bit extra. But you look through the team, I think that Tellio's over there because to make up the numbers just now. I think he's on the way out, which is fair enough. I think we're getting more or less our money back for him, which is decent business considering it's no worked out for him. These kind of things happen. So you're looking through that. Sinisalo's getting some game time. And Amura as well. I think he's looked pretty decent to start with, but I think as we spoke about, you need a prolonged period of time and more time than a couple of kind of pre-season friendlies to fully judge what type of player and how good and effective he's going to be. With Engels as well, I think he's probably got a bit of a fight in his hand, because I think Nygren, again, he's similar. You're going to see him for a longer period of time, but I think Nygren's come in, he's looked very professional. He's slotted right in there, and I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen. So I think that Engels will probably be seeing the kind of performances, and hopefully that he's going to take his game to the next level. We all think he's capable of this coming season. When you look at Johnny Kenny, as you mentioned earlier, it's a sorry state of affairs. No offence to Johnny Kenny, but we're looking at kind of an ex-Shamrock Rovers player that hasn't really played any competitive football for Celtic, and not much whatsoever. And Adam Ida's just continuing. I hope it changes tonight. I hope it's continuing to just disappoint. I look forward to maybe the second half that we get a look at the new Japanese striker, the new signing, Shin. I know that not many people have a great idea. We obviously we had a video last week having more detail with an interview. and it sounds relatively positive. So I think we'll look at the second half, and I would like to see wee glimpses of him and see what he's capable of, and we can judge that going forward, mate.
Like you say, it's Marco Tello. If he's ever going to play with Celtic, Aaron, and put his name out there for the manager, then a good performance tonight is probably going to be maybe the last time for him to do that. Because obviously, as we're crying out for wingers, and this is probably the time for Yang and Tello, if they're going to put their name out there, to be at Celtic in terms of performance-wise. Maybe no Yang as much, but Tello, this is a game where you need to play well, because if you play well, there's a potential you might be in the team next week, or in the squad at least, and the rest of the season, if the manager believes that you can play. So as on the fence says, we played 40 hours ago, so he was always going to rotate. Yeah, totally. I can understand that. Good to see McGregor getting a wee bit of rest as well, because I'd imagine he'll be fully fit now. I don't think McGregor will need to get more game time. I think he'll be fully fit. But Bernardo as well, good to see him getting hopefully a good 60 minutes or so. I think he's a top player, but he's not had a lot of game time recently. Injuries have no helped that as well. But I think performance night, and I was expecting maybe a strong team to go away, but obviously due to the 2 days gap thing, 2 games in 2 days, you kind of need to use your squad at this point. But I think we're hoping for a good performance, Alan. I think we need to try and see what's that, sorry? Maestro. Would I prefer to play Tilly? Again, Maestro.
You.
Oh, maybe 10 years ago, mate. Give me an injection, I'll try. I'm fit enough, but I don't know about my knee. Listen, look, we can only hope, Alan, that maybe
Leegren's 95% of Leegren's past. We've looked into the data, and he's all the evidence points towards it. Leegren as a kind of attack midfielder. I think he can play in the wing, but I think any player can play there. But most of the evidence that we've been shown and looked at with some of people we know through the podcast, it points towards that he definitely has that kind of that possibly behind the striker, number 10 or number 8.
Aye, no, it's a good point though, Colony. I think he will. It looks like he'll cut inside, and it looks like he can take a free kick and stuff like that. So, but on tonight, Alan, the last thoughts of the game tonight. What's your predictions? You think? Well, I think a win would be ideal, but I think tonight might actually be a really good test. Like you said, I don't know the team sheet for our opponents, but I know they've got Tony, they've got Mahrez, they've got Frank Kessie, so they're 3 really good players. Ivan Tony, we should have signed, but again, didn't go in for the right money and didn't get him in. So, but in terms of that, mate, I think this might be a good test for us, and especially with a 2-game gap, it will help the fitness as well.
Yeah, we've not got a great deal of knowledge about Saudi football, but one thing we do know is that they spend their pennies. They have got a few kind of bigger names in their squad. I don't know their starting 11. I'm trying to look it up before we come on, but we couldn't find it. So they will have definitely quality in their team. We'd like to win for a wee bit of confidence, but I'm probably going to be watching certain individual performances more. See who's improving, see who can add kind of consistency towards. I know it's pre-season, but this is the only evidence and the only thing we can judge going into the season. Obviously, we're looking for a win and hoping for that, but let's see how the night pans out.
The fence, I think the first game in pre-season or two, you can see wee changes, but I don't know if it just looks like he's playing the normal 4-3-3, and that's what it looks like to me. It could change, but on that, Alan, before we go, I do definitely feel that, especially in Scotland, again, I don't know if we ever do it due to if it's the squad kind of depth or whatever, but I think we should always go 2 up front. That's just, I love 4-4-2, especially at Celtic Park. I think on the old school, big guy, wee guy, or 2 up front, we could steamroll teams with 2 up front, even if it's Maeda Nida, even Maeda, he scores goals, Maeda. I think 2 up front for me, a 4-4-2 old school, you can. I think sometimes with Rodgers, he proved in Atalanta that he can change, but I think sometimes we need to change for always high pressing. You can go direct, like I say to you, but I said to JP as well on the pod and in the chats, that the game that we drew with him end of the last season, the Ibrox, he changed in the second half, and we get more joy out of it going direct. You don't always need to play tippy-tappy, high pressing and playing for the back. You can go direct. If you've got either, use him. He is big. Hold it up, use him. So I think if that's the way we could go well next year, is you're going a bit more direct to the front two, because you don't always need to play through the lines and play through the high press.
Yeah, it's always good to have a plan B or a different option. I think that's something that we should. Previously with Brendan, we didn't really change. I think that's the first time last year we've seen with Atalanta that we can maybe mix it up a wee bit. I think that's always good to have in your locker. I think that the option, the possibility to kind of mix things up, it's not going to harm. It's not going to hurt you. I think predominantly the formation that Brendan will continue on with will be the 4-3-3. But no, you're spot on. I believe that we should have that kind of plan B and plan C in place, so that if we are finding it difficult domestically to break teams down with a low block, etc., that we have got that different option that we can change it up, and that could be more effective against some teams.
I think so, mate. Because I noticed it last year when we played against Rangers at Ibrox, that in the second half we went more direct with Sinisalo, and it worked for us. I think you don't always need to go the 4-3-3 and the high press and always playing for the back. You can change it about, and again, mate, Guardiola's, for me, sorry for the swearing, but he's fucked football, mate. Everybody's trying to follow his way of playing, and maybe I'm just, because I've not played football in about 10 years, mate. I'm maybe old school that. I just like 4-4-2. I just like 4-4-2. I'm not into all this formations and all the transition stuff. I just like play 4-4-2, pass the ball, score goals, create chances, and that's it. I just think football, last bit, mate, I just think football's complicated, but that's the way football's gone, mate. Everything's all data and stats, and it's getting to a stage now, mate. Some people don't even know what a tactic is, and it's all different.
I'd agree with you at a certain point, right? But we're coming up against kind of teams in the Champions League that if we played them at the exact same game as they're playing us, they're going to win every time, because they've got far more money, far more quality players. So when you look at last year against Atalanta, if it wasn't for that kind of Brendan maybe outsmarting them tactically, that may not happen. So I think that a lot of modern football now, I know we're a massive club, but in a small league, so like European wise, we're kind of underdogs most of the time. So sometimes that you need to be slightly more kind of flexible with that kind of formation and try and outsmart maybe the opposition coaching system. So I see where you're coming from, but I think football's maybe kind of evolved for that, and when we are maybe a team with less resources than some of the opposition will come up against in Europe, then you need to find that way to kind of get a result, and sometimes that is that change of formation.
Yep, I think you're right, mate. I'll leave that last word to yourself. Hopefully get a good performance tonight. Hopefully get a good result. That would be ideal, but hopefully we see more of an idea how we're going to maybe play next week in terms of the football. Good to get fitness involved in it, the last two games as well over the this Como tournament. So, but again, thanks for tuning in. We've got currently 230 tuned in, so thanks a lot before the game. It is getting pretty dull outside, so hopefully we don't have a dull day tonight, and we can get a bit of brightness in our life and Celtic get a result. So again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you're all well. Please like and subscribe. It is free. The more you like and subscribe, it helps us put the content out. It helps us get more guests like Dan Olowitz, who is the Japanese journalist for us. As Alan says, we spoke to him about Yamada and Shin and Anamura, and it was pretty positive. So we are on social media: Facebook, Twitter, social media, TikTok. We're on every platform. Please subscribe to it all and like and follow us. But until Monday, we're back on the Monday, I think. We'll see you then. Until then, have a good weekend. Enjoy the match, and
sets up Larsson here. Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!